Do you ever feel yourself getting weighed down by the negative things in life? I was recently asked during a coaching call with a client who is struggling with emotional binge eating how to handle negativity in a healthy way so that those emotions don't take over her life and disrupt her health commitments. So I'm here today to share with you four biggest takeaways from that conversation. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Jen J. I am a women's hormone health coach and family nutritionist. My practice is built on empowering women who are living with uncomfortable and debilitating hormonal symptoms, things like painful periods, mood swings, weight gain, low energy, PMS, insatiable hunger, that sort of thing, to help them reclaim their lives and really put those period problems to rest. And because I'm a mom, I get it, ladies. I help the whole family eat healthier with really simple tools as well. Now, do you ever actually feel yourself getting weighed down by the negative things in life? Because I certainly do. And they tend to cause us to, binge eat or skip eating altogether. I see this in my practice all the time. Maybe they're keeping you up at night, leaving you to be really tired the next day, or maybe too tired to get in your workouts or your activity or to wake up early like you had planned. Um, the good news, or the way that you confront these issues actually can really have a major effect on the amount of energy that you put into them. So the good news is that you can learn a group of, tricks to keep yourself from getting sucked too heavily into this doomed way of thinking. It's very easy for us to spiral, right? Um, so I'll question you and I'll challenge you and say, if you could learn these tricks, would you actually use them right away? Because a lot of us, we watch these helpful videos, and we forget about it, right? Or we put it aside. All the good intentions are there, they just don't actually take place. So I'll challenge you and say to you, give some of these a try, because I think that they can be really helpful in you staying out of that negative mind space, right? So the first is knowing that pain is a natural reaction. So one thing that a lot of people seem to forget is that it's actually normal to feel hurt or upset when bad things are done or said to you, right? When you experience something perceived to be negative, it's normal to have those reactions, and those reactions are healthy, right? It's important for you to accept that you can be affected by the things in your environment, but how you choose to deal with them is where we differentiate between healthy and non-healthy reactions, right? So it's always a matter of how you choose to react to a situation. So instead of, burying or suppressing pain or becoming a reactionary, you can aim to make more productive choices. But being sad is a part of life. So understanding that, like recognizing it, labeling it, accepting it, allowing yourself to feel it, even, right? Like, don't have, negative feelings towards yourself for having a negative feeling. It's okay, right? You're allowed to feel it, but what we don't want to do is we don't want to allow it to control us either. So if you're like me, and your natural reactions are to react emotionally rather than rationally, then maybe one of my favorite mantras, and I really hope it will, can help you the same way it has helped me. So, my favorite mantra to repeat to myself when I'm feeling negative or when I feel like I'm spiraling or I'm feeling really weighed down is I just tell myself that this is a phase and this too shall pass. And I find that when I tell myself this, I'm better to, or I'm it's easier for me to better regulate my emotional responses and to recognize that, I have some control over how I react to this experience as well. So the next thing you want to do is, find ways to express yourself, right? So when you're feeling upset, there are a lot of ways to deal with our emotions, of course. One way that people have dealt with their emotions since the beginning of time would be through expression. So, people tend to have more of a desire to create things. Artistic forms are a really great expression of feelings that you might be able, maybe not communicate in the best ways, right? And maybe you have difficulty expressing what you're feeling because you're still understanding what you're feeling, right? Still trying to dig through the layers of your reactions or your feelings around a situation. And so, while you're going through that, various art forms can be a really great way of expression for that. So things like musical pieces and paintings, they can help. They actually express, multifaceted and subtle shades of emotion as well. The colors you choose, the textures, the way, your strokes, the firmness that you press with, whether you're, coloring with pencil crayons or even just crayons at your, at the table that your kids left out, right? These all have subtle indications of what you're feeling, right? So then, of course, you could dive into that if you wanted, but at the very least, it's allowing your body to express something that maybe you can't communicate or that you have difficulty communicating just because you're still peeling back all those layers, right? And that's sort of why art, can stand the test of time to the point that art remains valuable hundreds of years later after it's been created and even after the creator has long since passed away, because there's so much emotion and expression in that piece of art, right? So I actually grew up very emotionally immature. So in the days when I had a really hard time expressing my emotions and putting them into words, I found that listening to music was really helpful. I wasn't really a very creative person. I wasn't good at creating expression. I was really great at working focused, having very focused work production when I was feeling negative, but I wasn't necessarily great at expressing what I was feeling. So I found that listening to music was really helpful for me, because it could actually help me articulate what I was feeling, right? And that's of course why the music industry is so popular and why it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And it really is because it puts into words emotions and experiences that many of us go through that maybe we haven't been able to dig through the layers of and express in a way that is meaningful for somebody to understand, right? So I know I'm not alone in that process. I'm sure you can think back to your teenage years to, feeling really angry or emotional or frustrated and putting on some music and you just all of a sudden life felt better, right? And I bet if you listen to that same music now, you still have a very positive and uplifting feeling listening to that music now, even though you're no longer in that same mindset or mind frame or experiences that you were then, right? um, the next thing you really want to do is, make sure you're doing something healthy for yourself. So choosing something healthy that you can do for yourself. And this can include things like, as complicated as learning a new language, or it could be as simple as taking a bath, right? Doing a workout or something that it enriches the quality of your life, picking up a book, doing some journaling, cooking, baking, something that really does add value to you, right? So giving yourself something good to focus on, like a nice project, which is why I found that uh, it's funny actually, my businesses when I was young, I've been an entrepreneur since I was about 16, but my businesses actually flourished when I was going through some of the most hardest times in my life, most difficult times in my life. And that was because those were things that I did for myself. Those enriched my life, like building my business. And it gave me a lot of confidence as well to be able to put that into action. And it gave me control over areas of my life where I felt that I didn't have control. So doing something good for yourself like that, not only increases your skill set, but it also opens up doors for you in the future. So, um, and then, the next thing you want to do is, breathe deeply, right? Breathe deeply and completely. One of the other reasons that, some of us have panic attacks or that we tend to spiral is that we have bad breathing habits, right? And in fact, even just our posture can dictate how well we're breathing. So if you're hunched over and you're bundled up and you're, in, you know, lack of a better term, but in the fetal position, then you'll actually find that you're not breathing as well as if you were, sitting up, shoulders back, chin forward, just with that really great posture, because it does allow you to breathe deeply right through your diaphragm. So, and as I shared in some of my other videos in this on my channels here, particularly related to stress, is that deep breathing and complete breathing actually does help regulate our nervous system, which can help us you know better, have clearer thinking, have more positive thinking, be more rational, less reactive, less emotional, and really helps us come into that more advanced side of our brain instead of that emotional, self-protective side of things. So, the next time that you're dealing with negative things in your life, you remember that how you're responding to them can make all the difference in how you perceive your life. And it's also, what can help keep you, moving forward with your health commitments as well, instead of allowing them to stop you from your health commitments. So give them a try, recognize your pain, know that it's a normal process of life. Find healthy ways to express yourself, do something healthy for yourself that feels good, and then remember to breathe deeply. And you can always, of course, also look into box breathing, which is a really great way to self-regulate your breathing as well. I'm sure you can Google that somewhere and find it. But as always, if you found this video helpful, be sure to like and share. And thank you all so much for watching. Remember to keep living healthy one bite at a time. Bye, everybody.